You know, it's been 7 months roughly since I first became a father at the beginning of this year, and I'm very grateful for it. And because of that, I thought, why have I never put out a video about the best dads in Fire Emblem? And that's exactly what I'm going to do today. Today, we're going to go through the top 10 best Fire Emblem dads. Starting out at number 10. Pent's a great unit, but he's a pretty dad. The guy is quite negligent on multiple fronts. For starters, Clarine basically runs away from home because she's bored, and he doesn't send anybody to check up on her at all. And also, if we look at Klein's background, he basically fell into the lion's den as a child, and that's why Deke saved him and got his scars. And where was Pent in all of this? Like, did he even care? And to make factors even worse, there's a whole civil war basically occurring in his country, and another country invading the other ones, and Pent's nowhere to be found, nor can be bothered. And his son is there fighting the war, and his daughter too. He just doesn't care. And this is the most powerful mage ever, right? And because of that, he's gonna be the 10th dad on this list. Coming in at number 9, Sigurd. On paper, Sigurd seems to be a caring and loving dad. But let's be honest here. Sigurd is a warmonger. Full stop. Sigurd at multiple points in time could have just stopped. Just hold on to whatever land he got and bargained and stop the rebellion. But no, even after he had a child, which mind you, probably isn't the best scenario to raise your child in, going from country to country while you're fighting nonstop. So once Daedra disappears, you're thinking okay, he's gonna stop, right? Right? He has to stop, but he doesn't. Instead, he grabs his son, gives him over to Shannon, who is a child, by the way, at this point in time, and says, "Go hide in the desert while I continue to fight my war. Your wife vanished. These nations are almost all conquered already and they keep rebelling anyway. Put down the sword, bro. Relax. You had plenty of reasons to stop at any point in time." At number 8, we have Hector. A good, protective dad. But there really isn't a lot going on what Hector does or how he acts as a father regarding Lilina in the story. We do know that he prepared her for the eventual untimely death of his, and that he also cares for her. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt given his interactions in FE7 with Nils, and how he always acts as this supportive figure throughout that whole game. And this can kind of translate into his father actions as well. And if anything, Lilina is proof that he was a good dad because she's a great child. Number 7, we have Eliwood. I will say Eliwood is just slightly better than Hector. And the only reason is because he's more impactful in Roy's story overall. Right off the bat, he sends an army of his knights to help you out, to clear out the bandits even though he can't fight anymore. Later on, he basically arranges for the mercenaries of Iliad to join and be able to assist Roy during his adventure, and he even assumes the leadership of the Lycian League and allows Roy to focus on the war effort itself. I just don't give him that many points because he still is sending his boy to war in his stead, which is not the coolest thing to do as a dad, but at least I'll say that he tried his best. He is a widower, so he basically raised Roy all by himself, which is impressive and a testament to the man that he is. At number 6, it's Brom, the farmer from Oma. I respect Brom a lot, and for many reasons. For starters, he picked up a weapon even though he was a farmer to defend his homeland so he could provide a better future for his children. And he has a lot of them. He even is very nice against enemies from the other armies or against the people that started the rebellion from Ludwig. He just doesn't want to harm anybody because he knows the pains that true war brings. He acts as a father figure during POR to multiple different characters, which is really cool to see during his supports. The one beef I have though is that he allows Meg to join the Dane army, and bro, you're on the Grail mercenary team. You know what that means for the enemy. You are literally on the Juggernaut squad of invincibility, and you're just letting your daughter fight for the other side? It's even more egregious because you can actually run into her, and he's just oh, just run right along, daughter, don't worry, I can't harm you. I was yeah, but Ike will slaughter her, or any one of the Lagoos, or anybody else that even looks remotely in Meg's direction will completely obliterate her. Why would you let her stay on the enemy side? I would just be you are coming with me, and just drag her right out of there. So because of that, I don't really know what Brom's end game is with this, but he's a good guy nonetheless. This one will come as a surprise, but at number 5 we have Seteth. As much as people will say Seteth is overprotective, I don't really think he's as bad as you would imagine him to be. And let me paint you a picture why. Imagine that tomorrow, your race was systematically hunted down and eliminated by people who then took the corpses of your fallen brethren and fashion them into weapons to then use against you. Kind of spooky, isn't it? So now think about the fact that you have a daughter that, because of the fact that she is from this race, will always be in danger and will never truly escape that stigma unless one day this whole situation disappears, which it more likely than not will not. And that is the situation that Seteth encounters himself in. So the fact that he even lets Flayn walk outside is impressive to me. Yeah, he's overprotective, and with good reason, because Flayn gets kidnapped like right early on, so he did have a good reason to be overprotective. And he also acts as a good father figure to multiple other characters. Even though it's not explicitly stated, his guidance comes along as that, and you can see it in his interactions with people like Bernadetta and Ingrid. People give him such a hard time, but his fatherly essence is out there for everyone to see. Now, this one is a gem. Morion. The real reason Morion is one of the best dads in Fire Emblem is the reason that can be kind of overshadowed if you don't really get the conversation that you need to see. But Alchrist and Diamant have one of the best voice acted and probably well written convos with corrupted Morion in the entire series, in which they basically showcase the fact that Morion was a great father. Now, for the little scenes that you see Morion in, you can see that he's protective of the boys and even tells them, like, please do not go to war, like I will go in your stead. The one thing I don't like about Morion, though, is that he's just plain old dumb. He just goes out there and fights without the emblem ring. He puts himself at disadvantage. He didn't even need to necessarily go. And albeit he wanted to protect Diamant and Alchrist, he kind of winds up making it worse for them because he dies, and he was a good father, and now they're without their dad. And all of this could have been avoided if he had just heard and listened to what his son said. So his stubbornness really isn't what sells it for me in regards of him being a good dad. But he is up there. In number 3 comes Garcia. From all his supports, the one that truly shines is the one with his son Ross. He carefully strikes the balance between being a nurturing father, somebody that cares for his child, that wants to see his child grow, but he also makes it very clear what would happen if he were to lose his child and how this would devastate him completely. He constantly mentions his wife who passed away and how he raised Ross himself, and that he doesn't want to lose him, but he does want to see him grow into a warrior just like he is. All of this while fighting in the remnant army of Renee, where he once acted as a general, but then gave up that title to spend time with his son. It's impressive. This man is like honor bound, a good guy, just helps everyone around him. He truly cares, and because of that, he's in number 3. Alois, the personification of dad jokes. Alois and I share a lot in common. Some would say we're dad serious. Okay, I'll show myself out. It seems to be a trend to be a warrior and be a good dad, and I don't really get why, but Alois has all the average traits that your average dad would have. His real supports shine out with Manuela, in which he talks about his daughter and how he wants to get a gift for her. But he basically acts as a fatherly figure to everybody around him, talking about Gerald all the time and how he admires him, but also acting as kind of like a supportive figure for Byleth and for Bernadetta. He is also an all-around compassionate guy, shown in his support with Shamir, in which he talks about the remorse of having taken so many lives during his missions. Mostly, this guy just can't be put down. He's got the shining vitality of a father, but also that ferociousness to defend that in which he believes in, which to me makes him the best candidate for second place. In number 1, the best Fire Emblem dad is by far Bartre the Brave. This guy is fantastic. He literally only gets involved in Roy's army because he goes out on a mission to try to find his daughter Fur. While he does that, he starts acting as a father figure to the likes of Kath and to Zeiss, and when he re-encounters Fur, he also helps her train, but becomes a little bit too overprotective. However, he understands that he can't always be protecting her and that she has to be allowed room to grow by herself. And because of that, he basically allows her the space enough so that she can grow into the fearsome warrior that she is, all while in the meantime basically propping up Carla as the person that raised her. But even then, he doesn't really acknowledge that Carla died early, and he also probably had a huge hand in raising his daughter too. Bartre is just fantastic. Not only that, but as a unit, the guy is fantastic too. Great bases and strength, solid weapon rank, and he's cool as hell. That mustache alone should be reason why he should be number 1. A fantastic warrior and our number 1 pick for best dad. What about you guys? Do you guys think that this tier list is representative of the best dads in Fire Emblem? Who do you think should be on this list? Well, let me know down in the comment sections below. And please, please, please like and subscribe. And we'll be seeing you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.